I like it when I just simply compliment Destiny's fashion. And then Loki will be like, okay, but you realize like Destiny is a rapist, sex pest, sex predator, pedophile, deadbeat father, a nigga. Like I could say the most like milk toast light thing possible, and then Loki just pulls up a whole fucking notepad. Whoop! Save notepad. All of Destiny's flaws, okay? And she just like copy and paste into chat. But that's why we love her, okay? That's why we love Loki, okay? Okay. Right.
Basically, I'm going to take a look at a take I had in regards to the whole Destiny situation. I'm going
So yes, so this is ABBA. So this is ABBA making a new video on Destiny, okay?
to analyze it.
So what it sounds like is that maybe just call ABBA what? Huh? What did I say? Kidding. Huh? Yesterday was I what is it? Hmm. Oh my god.
Just a drink. A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Yesterday in Rose I accidentally started a linguistics debate over the words mute and moot. So many souls were lost. They keep jumping in hole.
Okay. Alright. Thank you so much, Elite. I appreciate that $5. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. Based. Okay, yeah. So here's ABBA talking about Destiny again. Okay, who knows? Maybe they'll rebuild their bridge. All right, if this is a video that was saying, yeah, I was wrong about Destiny. Okay, so we'll take a look. But anyway, thank you so much for the $5, Elite. All right, very big. Guys, okay, if you guys want to support me, keep in mind that a super chat or a sub is always appreciated. I will always give you a shout out. If you give enough money, I will tell everyone to give you W's. Okay, I'll give you. Wow, W's, I know, so crazy. I know. It's like health insurance, all right? But yeah, otherwise check out my sponsor, okay? All right, thank you guys. Yeah.
And maybe I was wrong. You guys let me know. And one thing he said, I think he said something like, that was me a couple years back. I'm on Vyvanse now, which Vyvanse I think is like some kind of drug, ADHD. I don't know. He's like, I'm on Vyvanse now. I'm really just focused on political stuff. I want to stay away from the drama. It's like, I didn't realize they made a, finding God moment for druggies. You know what I'm saying? Like, how some people do a bunch of fuck shit for their whole life?
Okay, wait, Vyvanse. Okay, I don't know how other people perceive Vyvanse. I honestly don't know. But if you take Vyvanse regularly, like I do, okay, like according to the doctor, right? Like you're not just taking it because you're like so addicted and you need like higher highs every single time, right? Like you're just taking Vyvanse accordingly to like a doctor or something, right? It's really good, right? There's so much about it that it's just simply it just works. All right? Just it's not a big deal. It's literally not a big, like I'm sorry, no single medicine will ever be a big deal unless you're like not following doctor directions. Period, okay? If you're not following doctor directions, that's on you, okay? All right, sincerely. Okay? Yeah. Haha, I'm back. Loki, good thing we weren't talking about you, okay? We listen, I totally were not just talking about you, all right?
And all of a sudden they go to church
I did
once
not
and they're
say
like,
that,
I found
Zuri. What the
God. Like,
fuck?
like it absolves all the bullshit that they've just done. I don't know. It was such a weird way. Like when you're being said that you're doing a bunch of foul shit and you've hurt a bunch of people and like mentioning the fact that you're on Vyvanse and you're a changed person. It's just like, I don't know. Something about it just seemed off to me. All right, pause. Okay. Watching myself talk is always funny because half the time I'm like, you shut the fuck up. And it's interesting to watch it now.
Wait, is he actually at his stand-up right now? Oh, that's actually pretty dope. If he's actually at his stand-up in this specific instance, I actually think that's pretty fucking dope.
Because I was just yapping, right? I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. Actually, when this video came out, somebody I knew contacted me, and she was like, Abba, I saw...
After all, I know that stuff does decrease your libido. It's kind of true, because you don't think about sex, because you're wired. You know what's so funny? You know what's so funny? Is that the one time Destiny literally said, I spent all fucking morning, okay? Like, I spent 12 hours masturbating because I was high on Vyvanse. Like, he literally said, I spent all night masturbating because I was high on Vyvanse. No joke, this is something that he has said. And I'm here wondering, what? You stayed up until 6 a.m. jerking it? Like, what? How is that even possible? How is that even possible? It's just, I don't even know why he said that. It's so crazy. It's like, that's such a crazy admission. Oh. He actually said this. Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Dude, okay, listen, I'm on Vyvanse right now, okay, and I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. I have no such experience like that. Holy shit, not even close, okay? I have no idea what the fuck Destiny is talking about there.
The video was fine, but the whole portion
No.
that you did in regards to Vyvanse and ADHD,
No, stop. It's not normal. It's not normal. That's not normal. It's not.
I think you should look into it. And I was like, what are you yapping about? So I go to look into it, and the funniest thing happens. I start reading this shit off, and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know ADHD was all, because we all have this preconception of what ADHD is, which is, pretty you might agree, essentially it's like, you just can't focus for more than 2 minutes.
It's more than that, but what?
But it is more than that. I'm saying that's a general perception. Yeah. Anyone watching, you let me know, that's probably how we receive when we hear about ADHD. I start reading this stuff, and then I talk to her about it, and she's like, well, you know, there's this and that symptom, all this other stuff, and I was like, okay. And as I'm sitting there thinking about it, I'm like, wait.
Real recognize real. You look a little bit familiar.
Yeah. You know that Spider-Man meme where the motherfucker stands, like, and then they're staring at each other?
Okay, never mind. He's not doing stand-up, okay? He's still in his studio, okay?
I was like, damn, a lot of these symptoms actually sound like stuff I went through. So I was like, fuck it. And she's like, you know what? If you really feel strongly about this, why don't you go talk to your doctor? So I called my clinic. I'm like, hey, can we get an appointment? He's like, sure, we'll have this conversation. He runs me through all the tests. They give you a bunch of charts. You have to have people around you answer the questions on the chart. And then I go to sit in for the results. So he sits down, and he's like, so how do you feel? I'm like, the same as before I did this test. It takes a couple weeks. He's like, cool. And he's like, so based off the readings, you have ADHD. And I was like, okay, word. And then I'm like, so what are we talking about here?
What's this video about? I don't know. Destiny was on the cover, so I had to click on it, okay? I mean, it's an Abba and Pritch video, and Destiny's on the cover. You know I had to cover it. Abba was literally one of Destiny's, like, BFFs, right? Before, you know, it was, you know, before the whole thing happened, right? Like, they were literally, like, best friends forever, right? So, you know, I'm curious.
He's like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, like, give me a scale. Like, on a scale of, like, it's a minor problem to, like, I'm a train wreck. Like, where would you put me? He's like, I give you an 8 out of 10. I was like, no, I need like a metaphor. He's like, an 8 out of 10. I was like, okay. And then as we're talking about my childhood,
you have an 8 out of 10.
everything. I was like, oh, that's why like I was always falling asleep in class. I could never focus. One of the reasons I ended up not going to university.
Yeah, but then you became a famous comedian, right? Like Abba and Preach are both celebrities, okay? Like it's kind of funny because Destiny has interacted with Abba so fucking much at this point before the whole December shit happened. But yeah, like they're both celebrity, technically celebrities, yeah.
University or college is because I'm like this.
Spoiler alert? No, stop. Okay. No! Why'd you give me spoilers?
Like I lose my mind being in the classroom and just I can't focus at all. And then I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then, oh, that incident here. And then he also talked about different symptoms, like how it can manifest. I was like, what would that look like? And he's like, hypersexuality would be one indication. I was like, oh, wow. And he's like, yes, you might engage in a lot of impulsive behavior, right? It's not even necessarily that you enjoy.
That's true, okay? A lot of ADHD people are overweight or obese, okay? The reason for this is because they will consume a lot of food in order to stimulate themselves. So at some point, consuming food is no longer for nourishment or for whatever, right? It's so then you are stimulating yourself. You're stimming yourself, okay? So which is why when ADHD people consume food, they can study like easier or whatever the fuck, right? Like, yeah, that's a really big one, yeah.
Enjoy doing these things. There's an impulsivity that you can't help. I was like, okay, cool. So,
yeah, like cravings. Yeah.
I'm like, how do we fix this? And he goes, well, there's medication. I was like, well, tell me more. He's like, Vyvanse. And I was like, wait. I know about this drug. So I'm like, fine, you know what, let me test it out. I mean, I like drugs. All kinds, legal, illegal, don't matter. So I take the pills, I go home, he gives me different dosages. He goes 20, 30, 40, 50.
It's actually really interesting seeing different people's reactions to the same fucking drug that I take. Like, exactly the same fucking drug that I take. And I take a lot of drugs, okay? Like, I'm a heavy drug user, okay? Like, the amount of drugs I consume every day is absolutely absurd. It's like a whole handful of pills and tablets and shit. But yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Start at the lowest. So I take the 50. And let me tell you, listen to your doctor.
This nigga's a retard. That's what
And I will tell you, it was the most insane day of my life. It's like, the best way I could describe it,
What?
the first time I took Vyvanse was, it's like your brain is in a room, the lights are always on, and then you take the medication and the lights turn off, and you're like, oh, this is what darkness is like. Like your brain just functions one way, and then you take this stuff and you're like, who am I underneath this, like, this disorder? But I started taking the medication kind of regularly, and I'll be honest with you, it's probably been one of the most life-changing experiences. I think that was like top 3 for me.
Yeah, I will say, okay, so there's a few life-changing experiences that I've had, okay? I've been through like at least like 5 to 10 life-changing experiences at this point. Okay. First was going through facial feminization surgery, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, I wouldn't say top surgery is one of them, but like whatever. All right. Number 2 is what is it? Oh, number 2 is taking SSRIs. Starting to take SSRIs was also like a really big life-changing experience for me. I think also taking ADHD drugs was also a huge life-changing experience for me. And when I'm talking to you guys about life-changing experiences, I'm saying it's a really positive thing, okay? Like it's a really good thing. Not a really bad thing, a really good thing, okay? Oh, and finally, one of the biggest life-changing experience was getting on pramipexole, okay? Because I have restless leg syndrome, so I've been having terrible sleep every night. So I would fall asleep in the middle of the day every day, and you know, coffee would be required every day. I'll still be you know, drinking coffee to this day, but it doesn't really matter. All right. The point is that, you know, ever since I gotten, you know, the drugs that make me sleep better, right, to calm down my restless leg syndrome, at night, yeah, my life has drastically improved. Yeah. So, you know, listen to your doctor, okay? Seriously. I cannot stress this enough. Okay.
And it's been making me reassess a lot of things, because a lot of things that I just thought were part of my personality or part of who I was actually more so linked to the disorder itself. And I'm not saying the disorder is necessarily something.
SSRI killed my sex drive and ruined my relationship. Funnily enough, I don't think SSRIs killed my sex drive. And I don't think it ruined any relationships I had in the moment either. I don't know. I guess everyone reacts differently. Maybe I have a high tolerance for like side effects. I don't know, because all the drugs that I've taken, that other people have taken, they have experienced like disastrous side effects, or, you know, a lot of bad stuff has come out of them. But for me personally, I feel like I've only benefited from all the drugs that I've taken. Yeah, like there hasn't been any side effects that have like really devastated my life, which I have been really thankful for, you know? Yeah.
Completely separate from me. But the behavioral changes that came afterwards were so drastic that it made me reassess a lot of things. And I realized there is a world where you are hypersexual and you are being very impulsive and making really stupid fucking decisions. And it's just because you're not medicated. Does this absolve the person necessarily? No, that's not what I'm saying yet.
Yeah, it doesn't absolve the person, obviously, because every single time somebody makes a bad decision, chances are it's because you're mentally ill, right? But you know, you could be a total psychopath, sociopath, and plan out someone's murder, but you're still going to get a death penalty, right?
If someone is dealing with something that they're not treating and they're engaging in bad behavior, it's possible that because it's untreated, that's really like the core aspect. But ADHD is a real thing. It is a bitch. And I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about when I said all that shit. So I should just own it. See? All right, and I think I appreciate the claps. You know, I'm gonna do my thing. Okay. But I wanted to say this just because over the course of 10 years of doing videos on YouTube, there's been a lot of takes or opinions that have shifted for me over time. And as you learn, you grow, you learn, you try to reassess. But it's very rare that we have a chance.
I have autism and loud noise is so loud. Like, I haven't been diagnosed with autism, all right? But at this point, like, every single thing that I suspected I have been diagnosed with. And maybe you can say that, oh, it's a case of me searching out the specific doctor that will diagnose with something like this. But that's not true, all right? Because every single test and procedure that I have taken, I think that I've answered really honestly. Like, every single time they ask me a question, I've answered really honestly. So, yeah. But yeah, it's, yeah. Who knows?
Is to go backwards and reassess these things. And for anyone who might be discovering that video today, I hope that at least this video kind of serves as like a middle ground.
Autism test is super long and expensive, I heard so. Well, it really depends. As a kid, so, okay, so just a little bit of psychology I'm teaching you guys, okay? As a kid, all right, you can actually take individual tests and it would be fine, all right? Like, for example, a kid can take an ADHD test and that could be perfectly fine. It'd be less biased than taking an autism test, right? You can take an autism test, you can take an ADHD test. But I think once you become an adult, all right, you have to take this test that is like called the multi-symptomatic, whatever the fuck, all right? It's like a full body, full mind assessment, right? It's a full mental disorder assessment, you know, if you're an adult, okay? Because as an adult, eventually all of your little mental illnesses that you have genetically from birth or something begins to intersect together at adulthood, I'm assuming, okay? I assume that they all begin to intersect at adulthood and it becomes really hard to take individual tests anymore, okay? You can still take individual tests, but you know, a lot of psychologists will recommend you to take the big test, the big fat test that will just tell you everything about yourself, okay? And by the way, like the cost of one of these tests, if you do not, if you pay out of pocket, I'm pretty sure the cost of one of these tests is like $8,000. All right, like $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. Okay, for like a single, you know, full assessment test. All right, yeah. What do you mean individual? Like individual tests. So for example, when you're a child, you can be tested like separately for autism, for ADHD, all right, for all of these things, right? But as an adult, typically you're recommended not to do these individual tests. And that's what I've been told by multiple people. Hey, by the way, I don't think you should take individual tests because, you know, you're an adult now and, you know, you should take the comprehensive one. Yeah. Can someone pirate that test? No. The test is specifically so that you can get diagnoses. Okay, so you can, I mean, you can pirate a test, you can take it, and then it can tell you you're like X and Y, right? But that's not going to be on the medical record. That's not going to be diagnosed by a medical professional.
To say like, hey, I thought of this then with more
and you know, good luck getting treatment or medication for that. So.
information. This is where I'm at now, and I want to present that to you guys. It's even like weirder for me because I am a functional adult. Like I have my own place, I clean.
What's it called? I forgot, but but it should be pretty easy to find. It's like full mental assessment, something like that, comprehensive. I don't know, dude. It's just something like that.
I wash my ass. I do my homework. You know what I mean? I do my, you know, I have a job and I'm.
Thanks for
I
being
work hard.
functional, dude.
Yeah, you know, I do.
Wash my ass.
I wash my ass. But with that in mind, there.
Your insurance should pay for it, by the way. If you guys are like curious about like yourself, I guess your insurance should pay for it. Yeah.
A lot of inefficiencies in my day-to-day life. Like there's like this crippling procrastination, but it's like the dumbest fucking shit. Like very basic stuff that's easy to do will take me a long time to get it done. And then other things I could just spend 10 hours editing. And it's just like, why could I not just send this fucking email? Because like I'll tell you one of the most crippling things.
Yep.
I'll see an email, I'll look at it, and I'm like, all I have to say is like, thanks, I'll reply. And I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. And I just put it off. And it just causes all these extra problems for me. I'm like, why is this a problem? And I think
I like to get some beta blockers to be able to do presentations. Chemicals are kind of OP. Okay. I mean, lots of people do lie or they try to, you know, practice saying certain answers and just get what they want. And doctors kind of know that as well. But obviously, you know, you're kind of you could be doing yourself a disfavor by lying and then, you know, getting prescribed and then getting addicted or something. I don't know. Like the thing is, I guess the point is that like, I don't know. It's up to you. All right. It's just up to you, really. You can't really. Yeah, it is a huge problem, to be fair. This is why we have a shortage in ADHD medication, and we also have a shortage in, you know, other stuff like Ozempic. Okay, so, you know.
With that, I was like, okay, now it's no longer an issue. It's like, this was causing a lot of that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm not actually, this isn't a part of
By the way, FYI, okay, there's like people on Tumblr before who are like telling each other, "Oh, here are some advice on how to get this specific medication. Here are all the answers to all the different questions that you might be asked in order to get this very specific medication." And I'm just thinking to myself, man, this just feels kind of dishonest. Like, yeah,
My
it is what it
personality
is.
of who I am, this is a side effect of something that many people in the world have. And it doesn't mean that you're dumb or something's wrong with you. It just means that you particularly need to be lit up by something to give it 10 hours of your focus. But if you give it and you're lit up, it's going to be the best 10 hours of your life. If something doesn't interest you, don't even look my way.
Right. But
You know?
the problem with that is you can't go through life only doing the things you're interested in.
Exactly.
And I think I realized this with my relationships, not even just talking about like romantic. I'm just talking about even like familial or friendships. The biggest downside of this thing was like, I was not doing the labor that's necessary to maintain those relationships. So whether it being the replying in a timely fashion, making the effort to reach out, I find phone shit super tedious. Like showing up for my friends in person, easy. But like a lot of the trying to keep in contact, the sending thanks, the sending well wishes, like that was impossible for me.
Yeah, me too.
Right?
I feel that.
And now with this, like I can reply to my mom very quickly. And then like, it seems so small, but that minor label that you're able to do on a regular basis has such an impact on the relationship dynamic. And for me, I think it makes it much easier for me to be present for the people around me. It makes it a lot easier for me to be even present for myself, to do the things that I have to do in the little ways in the day to day. So that's why I say it's been life changing.
Yeah.
Because I just thought like, oh, like you're supposed to be like this because it's what comes natural, not recognizing there's an underlying problem that I haven't dealt with. That's like, literally, I just felt like it was part of me and I didn't realize like, it is, but it's also separate to some degree and it's fixable. So,
But for so many years, how long did you just feel like that was a part of your personality?
I didn't even think it was like part of my personality. I just thought it was me. Like, because I didn't even know what ADHD was. So when you're in an undiagnosed.
Yeah, I think what he's saying here is correct so far. Does this sound like rich people problems? Okay. Listen, once you get hit up with one of these medications and it actually starts affecting your life in a positive and substantial way, finally you guys will understand, okay? This isn't just rich people, okay? Poor people have health insurance too, okay? And poor people's health insurance also covers stuff like this. So it's like, it's really not just rich people, yeah.
It's like not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it wasn't even a thing. It's just me, right?
Yeah. This is just who I am.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's interesting now because you start to like retrospectively look.
That is sarcasm, to be clear. Yeah, like you're like people are acting as if like poor people never procrastinate on anything. Are you kidding me? Of course.
At every relationship dynamic, you're like, oh, I could have done that differently, consistently, and I could have spoken to these people differently.
Dubstep
family
sounding off.
And that's a whole set of like, it's almost like mourning.
Yeah.
Because I didn't okay, so this is the two things that I'm thinking of when I'm going through this. Is the ADHD me, or is who I am after I take the meds me? And based off of that answer, I look back at everything in my life and say, if the new me was there, how much different would I have been? How much different would those relationship dynamics have been? And then I go through that mourning process because it's like, I didn't get to be present for certain people. I didn't get to show up to certain events. I didn't get to make them feel special or vice versa, or I didn't do the labor I needed to have certain opportunities. So you're just like, oh, there's this whole other life I think I would have lived because I'm already living a completely different life than how I was living now that I've taken the meds. Don't do what I did. I was definitely really stupid because like that shit hit me like brick, bro. I had physical symptoms that was crazy. I was buzzing for 2 days. I didn't sleep. I had like muscle cramps everywhere.
You know what they say,
I was like,
man?
and then now I'm on the right dose. I was like, I'm chilling.
Play retard games, get retard prizes.
I've never gotten muscle cramps from taking Vyvanse, but yeah, sure. Okay.
That's what it is, bro.
Yo, so I took the 50 and I went on a date. First
No,
date.
you're stupid.
Okay.
Crazy. I was sitting in that restaurant just buzzing, bro.
And you were actually listening to her?
She's like, you know what she said? You know what she said? She's like, damn, that's crazy. Like, you replied quickly for the first time. I was like, yeah. I'll show up. And And she was like, "You just seem different." I was asking her questions and shit. I was paying attention. She's like, "Oh, she felt really seen and stuff." I never went on a second date, but it was a great first date.
Oh, wait, what? How? Why?
And,
Oh no,
we talked
why?
about like
Was it the
when you're interested in
Vyvanse?
something very easy to do, but from a work standpoint, there's a lot of things that you sometimes have to do that's just not fun to do.
I will say Vyvanse is really good for streaming, okay? Specifically. All right. I think that my viewers who have watched me during like multiple phases of my streaming career, career, I know, but like multiple spaces can literally tell me, yeah, you seem extremely different from one medication to another medication to another medication when you're on stream, yeah.
And
Admin.
the delays in that kind of throw everything off. So even like making this podcast happen or making this live show happen, it's much easier now to get all the little details done in place now that I'm taking this stuff, because of the fact that I don't have this mental delay where it's just like incredible labor to like reply to an email or contact people, organize.
By the way, it's not hard to become responsible. You know how I answered when my doctor asked, okay, do you need a higher like dose of ADHD? Do you need a higher dose of whatever you have right now? And do you know how I answered? No, I don't. I think what I have is enough. Boom. I'm responsible, okay? I'm literally responsible and I'm still benefiting from it, okay? So yeah, like, fuck, just, be a responsible person.
And I'm really happy that we're doing this, because for me, it gives me an opportunity to like really flesh out ideas, to really go and like put effort into the preparation for large scale projects. I think when you're on a
Well, doctors never ask me that because you're probably a woman, okay? And women don't have medical issues.
ADHD, the easiest thing to do is to show up for things you're interested in. But sometimes doing the labor of things that are not as fun for the stuff you're interested in, that's hard. So for example, we're doing stand-up, writing. Writing can be really
Listen, all right, when women go to the doctor's office, they're overreacting, okay?
hard. But doing stand-up is the easiest thing. Why? Because there's stimulation, you're up on stage, there's bright lights, there's an audience. But the actual writing process, which is so important for improving, that's a lot harder. So, for me, it's like in this line of work, I don't think I have a choice but to kind of take it, because if I don't, then I'm going to always stagnate. I think recently I wrote like a 10-page document for a video we were about to do. I did research on laws, legal matters, everything in terms of statutes and clause. And I was like, well, I can actually do the necessary work so that when we come to do the video.
It's not a woman thing. Yeah, okay, sorry. I was making a joke, okay? Maybe it didn't come across as a joke, okay? All right, but yeah. Okay, this podcast is boring. Okay, Loki, you can watch somebody else. Okay, you don't have to watch me, all right? Jesus. Oh my god. Dude, what the fuck? Dude, what's with people going like, oh, Foodshops, this content is boring. What are we watching this? Dude, just, oh my god, just go, shoo. All right, you can come back later. Oh my god.
I'm much more informed. So, I don't know. For me, it's been changing even from a work standpoint.
Do you feel like it's also giving you a new sense of confidence and integrity? Just being able to be like, oh, I can do this. I can sit down for 10 hours and organize myself.
Damn, I didn't know you were in the podcast. Dude, okay, listen. You may need me, but I don't need you. Okay? Come back in 30 minutes, okay? I love you. All right, Loki?
And maybe that anxiety that's underlying with a lot of ADHD, and people have ADHD. Do you find that kind of having this new avenue in your life where you're like, I wrote a 10-page document, which is maybe something I didn't feel like I could do in high school. Do you find yourself having a different type of confidence now that you're on the medication?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I always knew I could do a lot of the things that I'm doing.
I thought this was another hit piece on Destiny. I think that what this is like, what was I gonna say about this? No, I think this is reconciliation with Destiny. Yeah. Maybe.
I just wasn't always confident that I had the.
I don't know.
It's not motivation. It's just like the capability of doing the things I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Or the things that are not like stimulating.
Mhm.
That's what I lacked. And I think before it wasn't a big insecurity. I'll tell you why. I was aware that I had that limitation. You can ask Preach. Preach would like suggest ideas that were grandiose or stuff. And I'm like, no, because I know I'm not going to follow through on that. And that's like probably the thing that I hate the most. I hate making a commitment to people and then failing to come through on that. It's like I
I feel a sense of shame about it oftentimes. So for me, I would just say no to a lot of things because I knew I wasn't going to do what's necessary. And I take people's time and effort and money seriously, so I don't want to take people.
I thought everyone blacklisted. Yeah, but I think ever since the results of the preliminary hearings of his court case came out, I think people might be reaching back to Destiny to reconnect their bridge because maybe they realized that Destiny, I don't know, was like being treated unfairly or something. For the record, okay, I still think he did like sex crimes or whatever the fuck, right? Like I still don't think what he did was good. But at the same time, you know, obviously, I think the only thing that other people care about is like whether or not reconnecting with Destiny is like good for their brand, right? Whether or not reconnecting with Destiny like looks good to their audience, right? I think that's the only thing people really do actually care about. So yeah, obviously they don't want to associate with Destiny when everyone's trying to kick him down, right? So yeah.
What
Is the case over right? No, it's not. It's not over, but right now Destiny has a winning edge in the case specifically.
whatever they're providing to me and then not showing it the due diligence that it's.
The issue is that Destiny claims Vyvanse cured his Gunnar or sharing private news with Anna Instinct through Vyvanse. Did he actually claim that? I don't think I don't recall. I don't recall him actually claiming that. Yeah, I don't know.
Necessity.
I come from
Also, yeah, for a record, okay, like if the most ironic part of this is that if Pixie haven't sued Destiny, then you know Destiny would have continued losing today, right? If that makes sense. Like, there's no shot that Destiny would have recovered his reputation if it weren't for the fact that Pixie filed like one of the most awful lawsuits known to man. But yeah,
a time where I come from a time where ADHD didn't exist. So when
he kept saying his bad behavior was pre-Vyvanse. Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, like, dude, no, yeah, exactly. I mean, like, it's certainly not true that Vyvanse is the reason why you might get rid of some bad behavior, okay? You might be getting rid of some things on Vyvanse because you're more diligent and you're no longer procrastinating and you're more on task because, like for example, if you had an issue, right, and you weren't addressing that issue, maybe you're more diligent in terms of addressing that issue once you got on Vyvanse. But it's not because Vyvanse caused you to get rid of that issue. It's because Vyvanse caused you to have productive behavior to address that issue in the first place, right? If that makes sense. Anyway.
parents thought I was stupid because I was going to school and was failing, they got me to we don't understand. This kid is super intelligent, but when he goes to school, he's a retard. So we don't understand what the fuck going on. And I went to the specialist.
So all this is kind of gross because Abba is taking it back just because he got on Vyvanse. Yeah, I think I agree a little bit. I think this whole thing just feels kind of weird. Okay, but we'll see. We'll see what he says at the end. Okay, we'll see what he says at the end. All right, because I'm not even sure if he's actually rebuilding the bridge or not. Right? Yeah.
And that dude, even though he was a specialist, it didn't exist. ADD, ADHD didn't exist. Yeah. So he said, "Oh yeah, he's just faking to be hyperactive."
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to fucking spell that bitch. How the fuck am I gonna pretend to be a bitch that I can't even spell? Explain me all these fucking documents that you call fucking diplomas ain't worth shit, buddy. Cause you say that I'm faking some shit I can't spell. I don't even know what it means. Don't come for me. Don't come for me, Jordan. I don't know what the fuck.
Oh, he's not the beginning of the video was last mention of D. Oh, he probably just put in the Destiny in the thumbnail for clickbait then. Yeah, then he probably doesn't actually mean it. Yeah. So yeah, no, it was just clickbait, guys. Okay.
What it means.
I also don't like that question, Jordan.
Yeah, I don't like that question. Fuck
and I don't understand it.
So I was like, yo.
I'm pretty sure he hasn't even like mentioned Destiny by name. No, like I don't know.
Oh, fuck that shit.
Yeah, I'll definitely back you up on that. I told you guys I was always falling asleep in school. My grades weren't bad, but my teachers would always say like, you have no work ethic, or
I've been called lazy.
Yeah, or they would say I was like not well raised, and they were offensive
That's
things.
because you're black. They're racist.
I mean, but to be fair to them, I was.
Man, I feel like that's something I would say. It's because you're black. It's because you're Asian. I'm racist. That feels like exactly the same string of words that I would say.
I remember ending the school year.
That's something I do.
And there was more drool than ink on my binder. It's not even like I'm not being hyperbolic. That's 100% real. I would go to class and I would fall asleep all the time. Now, part of that was a sleep apnea, but part of it was like I was just bored. And when I would get that feedback, a lot of teachers try to kind of reach out to me because I still did fairly well on all my tests, but I just never put in the work. I never did my homework. I never did all that stuff. And whenever they would say stuff about the work ethic, I knew it wasn't true because when I was 16, I started working and I never stopped working. By the time I was 17 and a half, I'd already moved out of my mom's place and had my own spot. And my mom never paid for anything. I was already like working full time, getting bonuses. I was doing really good in terms of work. The work I was doing was sales. You understand how engaging that is? Basically, motherfucker, you don't get
Wait, okay, MLM? Wait, he was doing MLM? Is that what he just admitted to?
paid unless you sell people on shit. So I was yapping through every conversation trying to get people to buy products they didn't need. And that was engaging for me.
Oh, you know, reminds me, aura.com/foodshops. Okay.
Not because I was scamming people, but because like, there's a feedback loop. What I'm doing,
reward.
but I'm in class, it's just like the teacher's not enthused. They don't care about the subject matter. Everyone's just being weird. It's like, well, I'm not going to focus on this. I remember even like, you guys ever do an orientation day for college?
Yeah.
Like the year before you end high school, they let you go to college to go see what the campuses are like.
Yeah, it's horse shit.
We had our counselor go with us to the university, and they're like trying to get us to go to apply to different places, to different universities.
I don't like the fact that they're sitting, okay? I haven't watched Abba and Preach video for the longest time. However, I just don't like the fact that they're sitting, okay? Why the fuck are they sitting? Stop sitting, okay? They should be standing, right? That's what they do. They stand, right? It's a stand up, not a sit up. Yeah.
You know, high schools do well the more students go and get signed up for university. So we go to this criminology class because I was thinking maybe I'll do a study on crime and stuff like that. The class starts, it's an introduction class, and I'm there. And the teacher starts yapping. It's this big ass fucking room with like 400 seats. 5 minutes into the thing, I fall asleep. This is orientation.
Yeah, you're not even signed up.
I'm not even signed up, and I'm bored out of my fucking mind. And I left that class afterwards, and I said, "There's no way I'm going to university or college. Not because it doesn't work. I'm going to pay money to sleep. I won't learn anything. I'll probably not graduate. This is not for me." And now that I look back on it, it's like, oh, you weren't broken. You just weren't treated.
I really want to see the court transcript. If Pixie really admitted to sharing explicit material herself, I feel like the case should be over. Yeah. And here's the thing, okay? All right. The fact that they don't even want the court transcript to be released in the first place gives me major sus vibes, right? The fact that Destiny himself want the transcript to be released, however, Pixie is the one that doesn't want the transcript to be released, like, gives me sus vibes, okay? Like, yeah. So, yeah.
And that's it. The last thing I was going to say beyond just...
And I feel like no one's talking about it, okay? I mean, maybe I missed it, but I kind of missed, like... I haven't really seen anyone talk about that part, you know? Like, none of his haters are talking about the fact that he is the only one that actually wants transparency, right? Like, fuck, I don't know.
Kid thing.
Who knows?
I think
Maybe
I think people just don't know what ADHD is. I talked a little bit about the perception of it, but people just don't know. And I think to this day, that idea of what it is still exists. I'm pretty sure if I spoke about it with most people, they'd be like, "Oh, you can't."
Sure.
Wait, so, okay, it's not hard, okay? He's a victim of the lawsuit, but Pixie is a victim of his leaks, okay? It's not that hard to, you know, make a nuanced take on this, all right? Yeah, it's not black or white, okay?
Focus, nigga. Focus.
That's not how it works.
And I think hopefully this kind of illuminates it. But if you guys do your own research,
I love the fact that this motherfucker been saying to me, like, at first when we started working together, it's like, "Yo, focus," and I was like, "You're one of us."
well,
You need to focus too. It's just that you're unfocused behind closed door. I'm just real with my shit. Next topic.
Okay. Given the delicate nature of the case, it's valid to leave detail behind closed doors. Don't be too content-brained. I get it. Okay, listen, I get it. Like, don't be too content-brained, but it's just like, I mean, this is such a public case, right? We're not talking about a case where, like, what, it's just like kind of shits and giggles, right? This is a case where, like, as much transparency there is, it's the better, because so many people are covering this case in public, right? I think you really owe it to the people to release the case files, right? Because the case is so public. It's just such a ridiculously like public case that millions of people online are following. Yeah, you do owe a lot of people on the internet the transparency behind this case. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but you know, that's just my opinion. Yeah. What do I know? I know nothing. Okay, I'm just a random 26-year-old. Okay. Yeah. Still hard to feel bad for girls that shack up with a man known for being maybe okay. Be careful not to victim blame. Okay, for the record. All right, I just want to say like again, all these girls like yeah sure, but at the same time, you know, Destiny is rich.